What's up, everybody? How you doing? It is Thursday. It is vlog day. Thank you for joining me. I'm excited. I have some viewers. Thank you guys seriously for joining in and all that kind of thing. Much appreciated. So I have the usual array for the show. Got some what I've been vaping, some beer, a news and advocacy, and maybe I'll throw in a main thoughts at the end. I had something worked out, and even then I feel like I need to tweak it a little bit more. It also depends on where I'm on time, since I actually have quite a bit for the advocacy section. Yeah, we'll see how this goes and all that kind of thing. So let's just jump into some what I've been vaping. Got some what I've been vaping. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the Blotto Gen 2. If you haven't checked it out yet, my review for the Blotto is out. In that I have, I didn't even grab right away, I got some of that Ben from Rescue E-Liquid. Really, really good stuff. If you haven't tried it out, give it a shot. I know with the Ohmies we have the code. It works the same with Wolfbite. That is the current code we have too, and all that kind of thing. So start off with the seriously, give this a try. If you haven't checked it out yet, my review for the Blotto is out. In that I have. Oh, you guys can hear that? Really? Damn. All right. Liquid. TV downstairs. Really, really good stuff. If you haven't tried it out, give it a shot. I know with the Ohmies we have the code. It is hot and we can't close that door. It is really hot in here. And all that kind of thing. This is how we are in the hot room in the house, so it's kind of a shitty situation, and you can't turn on the air for a couple more hours because certain. Oh, you guys can hear that? Really? Alrighty. Yeah. All right. So, to apologize if you guys can hear the background noise and all that kind of thing. Really. It is hot and we can't close that door. Alrighty. So, yeah, Blotto. Then I got the Dang on the Defiant Designs TS, and in that I have this guy right here. I forgot that I even had this from Caterpillar E-Juice, Mad H. I don't even know what the profile is. I think this is the one that's supposed to be like a like a mystery flavor, and you taste something different every time. Lately, it's been more like a fruit or something like that. I know I've had this for like 2 years. I mean, it doesn't look like mega steep, but I've actually had this for quite a while now. Now that I think about it, I've had it for a bit. I forgot that I even had this from Caterpillar E-Juice. And the reviews for both of these were out last week, so if you guys got a chance to check that out, let me know your thoughts and all that kind of thing. And next, I'm still rocking that Hexome all purple setup with the recoil, DHD drip tip, and then I got the last bit of Out of This World Venus custard, which I don't know, I'm really liking that, and it's kind of making me want to like come up with a custard for myself and see how that goes. Check that out. Let me know your thoughts. Let's see what else. Warlock's Hammer. I'm still rocking that guy with Recoil Rebel DHD drip tip. These actually are matching drip tips. If you guys can't, let's see if you can see that. Those are matching drip tips right there. Only one is for the recoil, and the other one is a nub tip. And in that, I do have. Let's see what else. You hear the stream in the background? I'm still rocking that guy with okay, I know what you mean. Damn it, that's on me then. I forgot to mute myself.
Do I need to close the door?
No, I didn't mute myself on the YouTubes.
Oh.
So they were getting both. They were getting like a double dose of me right there. I am so sorry I did not catch that. All right. Thank you guys.
He sucks at YouTube.
Yes, I suck at this. I shouldn't be doing this anymore. Too old for this shit. Alrighty. I'm trying out some new things. I've been messing around with like my setup and all that, and you'll see what I mean here in a bit. Alrighty. So yeah, that's what I've been vaping. I'm very sorry for that. And that sucks. Mega fail. Do have that guy right there. It's this Squeebo with the Citadel on top and a Witch's Brew e-liquid. Double barrel V3 with Phoenix Tears. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, Lando. Too much clown for your liking. I agree. That's too much. There's only so much you can do. TFA, I have like Capellas because I really like the Capella over the TFA personally. That's just my personal thing. I have a bunch of other shit. I'm gonna play around. I have an empty 120 bottle, and I'm gonna just make me a big batch of something for my personal use, because that's how you roll in the DIY world. All right, so let's do some beer time. So yeah, hopefully not many more flubs. Oh, Rackley, dude, that is hilarious. Never too much clown. I want him to read me a bedtime story. All right, before I get into the beer, I do want to do some shout outs. Let's see where we start off. Tuna, you're out there somewhere. I haven't seen you in a minute, but you are out there. Golden Ghoul 42, welcome. Not seen your name before, but welcome. Raven Shadow Vapes, Josh Road 35. How are you guys doing? Lando with the donuts as always. DC Rackley, and yeah, that is everybody so far. Much appreciated. Thank you guys for coming on. Every time I gag, I see or hear custard. I know you hate custard. That doesn't mean that the rest of the world doesn't like custard, dude. Boston cream donuts are amazing. Or Long Johns, whatever dumb shit you want to call them. They are amazing. What is it? Long Johns? What's the other thing they call them? Eclairs. Alrighty, so didn't think this all the way through here. Can you reach me the bottle opener?
What?
The bottle opener. Thank you. My wife with the assist, getting that bottle opener going. All right, so this is from Mardsos. I can never pronounce this. Either way, Abe Abji. This is a triple. I've actually tried this beer before. It's been a minute since I've had it. It's really good. I like it. Personally, it's a really good one. I think we did this one Vape Beer and Tacos when that was still a thing. That episode most likely is not up because we were doing the free account for what is it, SoundCloud, and SoundCloud only lets you upload 2 hours worth of audio when you're running free. Dude, jelly-filled donuts aren't bad. Just that custard, so much better. Man, choking on my own spit. All right, here, let me do this real quick. I'm not ignoring you guys. I just want to look this up real quick. Since I don't have music, you get to hear me do something way out of tune here. Here we go. Alright, so yeah, there's no information here either. That's awesome. I like that. I just want even like a basic description on this. No reviews, because I don't care to see other people's reviews on it. Just mostly because I want my own opinions without misconstrued bias. But alright, so I'm not finding any information on it. Cool. Whatever. Lopez, brother, how you doing? Alright, so we're opening this sucker up. And here goes the pour. Yay. Like I said last week, it's amazing when you get a pour and it fits perfectly in your glass. All right, so it's very pithy. You see some stuff floating around in there. It's got a nice little head going on there. Very nice little amber color. Very, very amazing. Just look at that. Look at that. It's really nice. Custard donuts look like I love donuts a little too much, if you catch my drift. I understand, bro, but that's where your mind's going, then that's where your mind's going. If you don't want to look at it with the innocence of a child of, ooh, sugar, it's delicious, then that's on you. Alrighty, so here we go. It's very, you can smell the hops. It's very, like, it's not like a stout where you get all these other, like, aromas and stuff. Triples tend to be more of a traditional Belgian style, so they don't really have much more to them. They don't add, like, a citrus, something, a note of this or that. It's just a very straight old Marzen whatever style beer. So here we go. Oh yeah, that's still good. Honestly, I kind of been aging it for a minute, and that's actually, it's really good because I know you're supposed to, when you buy these, you can age them for about a month and start drinking them at that point. You can age them longer, and at that point you're kind of more or less, how long are you gonna age them for, and will they maintain flavor, will they maintain all that kind of thing. So I don't know, I'm really liking this. Oh man, now what could I pair with this? We're gonna go with that Ben. Let's see how this goes. Alrighty. Do not talk with Landa McClown. Yes, that is the new podcast. But it's mostly me bantering to him on here, and that's where the podcast comes from. All right, so let me give this a try. All right, I wouldn't say it enhances the beer flavor itself, but it does enhance that citrus in this because this is a guava lemonade. Two fat guys in a donut. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get involved with that, but later, Lopez. I didn't even see that he left. All right, later, dude. I thank you for coming by. Yeah, made the flavor of the lemonade in the e-liquid. It enhanced it quite a bit. Gave it more of a punchiness to it. Right now, I really wish I had the Gathering Vapor Lounges, which is brew Naul. If you guys have ever tried that, it's like basically a really over the top sweet clementine, and it's an amazing juice. It pairs really well with like lighter style beers like Hefeweizens and wheat beers. Triple, I don't think I ever got to try that, so I really wish I had that right now. But it's one of those things. So, but I do have what's in this fella right here, and that is the Full Moon Orchard. We're gonna give that a try, and maybe a couple more that I have here in front of me. All right, so let's give this a quick try. I gave the beer a little bit more bitterness, made it a slightly bit more punchier, more flavorful, but not a bad way, but even then not in like a ooh kind of way, you know what I mean? So interesting. All right, so next we're gonna go again. I just like Witch's Brews, I think, are the closest one, and we'll maybe give this one a try here in a second. But I do have a Pink Witch, and I cannot remember the profiles of this. The only one I can remember is the Whip Witch, because that one is like a strawberries and cream or something like that. So we'll give the Pink Witch a try, and then we'll move on to the couple other things I have here in front of me. Okay, that balanced it out really well. Like both of them paired up really nicely. It did give it that like ooh I was looking for, and pairing just like this, like it's really good. I like that. Just I don't even know how to describe it. It made the beer a little bit sweeter. It made it softer so it's not so harsh on the palate. Really good. Then we're gonna try the Whipped Witch, which I don't know. We'll see if this works, but if not, it's not that big a deal. Yes, that was the Monarch, and I have not tried Juice Heads Pineapple Grapefruit, but that actually sounds like it would work really well with this. that last one gave it a good tartness. It made it linger a little bit more on like the palate, so not too bad. It's still not like the last one, but yeah. What else did I want to give it a try? Oh yeah, let's go lastly with the Matt H in the Dang and see how this goes. Okay, that wasn't bad. That was actually pretty good. Okay, I'll take that one. It doesn't like hit right away, but it does give it like eventually it hits you, and it's really mellow, really sweet, really good. I'm okay. That's the winner, I guess. I mean, I thought it was gonna be the Pink Witch, but the Matt H might have won that one, honestly. So not too shabby. Alrighty, so we're gonna jump into some news and advocacy, and I'm trying out some new stuff here. We'll see how this works out for me, and all that jazz. And there's a phone. Alrighty, so let's see, news and advocacy time. Alright, so I got a couple of news articles pulled up over here. Oh wait, wrong display. There we go. It's got me a little bit offset so you can see this. What's up, Rajan? How you doing, man? How's it going, Kevin? 808 Kevin, aloha, brother. How is it going? Like I said, I'm trying out this whole thing and see how this works out for me, and we'll see. But you guys can see the article here. I will get you guys a link real quick, and there you go. Look at that. Bam. Alrighty, so this is as you can see from Vice. It was published yesterday. Scientists say another panic-fueling vaping studies needs to be retracted. And you guys know what's been going on lately with all these false claims and all that kind of thing. So we got a little bit more. Let's see. 3 weeks after American Heart Association Journal retracted a vaping study that led to heightened panic last summer, academics and health experts are pushing for another influential peer-reviewed medical journal to retract a vaping report of its own. The collection of concerned scientists think that a paper published in Pediatrics in 2018 correctly dangerously argued that people who vape are more likely to become smokers. The Pediatrics research pulls from gateway theory, and once popular and now oft lambasted idea that smoking cannabis could lead to more serious and potentially addictive substance use. Yes, that is honestly one heavy thing that needs to be just it needs to be taken away from the language. Honestly, they try to push this whole idea that because you pick up vaping you're going to move on to smoking. The only way that happens is with all these flavor bans. In all reality, with the taxation bans, with all the heavy taxation to where like vape shops get shut down, with heavy with all the heavy like flavor bans, that's how people are going to get into smoking if they went into vaping. That is the only way that becomes a gateway. So, it's one of those things. Try to explain to me, how do you think that works? I mean, we all picked up vaping to quit smoking, and personally, I mean, if you guys want to like chime in and chat, but personally, I don't want to go back to cigarettes. Anytime I'm around a smoker, that smell gets to me. It bothers me. And I wonder, how the fuck did I do that for so long and for so much? Like, I do question it heavily. Seeing what it actually, how it is from, like, the outside. And, I mean, I understand that, like, addiction and this and that. But, like, smoking itself really didn't, like... It was one of those things that we just did because that's all we had, and now there is an alternative option. So why would you want to go back to that? It's just one of those things, like kind of like it said with the cannabis thing, that it leads to more addictive substances. The only reason that you can get into harsher substances due to cannabis is because of your dealer being a prick and trying to get you into heavier, more expensive things. It's a very, very simple thing. Golden Ghoul, dude, I am on the same page with you, dude. I was at like a 2-pack to 2.5 a day, And I was really like that third one, like I was getting really close to finishing off that third pack a day, and it becomes a really bad, like expensive habit. I don't know if you guys have ever heard Thick Nick talk about his like smoking journey, his vape journey, and all that kind of thing. The dude was at 5 packs a day. You know how like hardcore you have to be at that point to be 5 packs a day? That is like just an insane thing to think about. Like even thinking about me smoking 3 packs a day, even when I tell people that, and they're like, how, why? Like, and one of those weird sad things is like your throat gets used to it. I remember like there would be like nights at a bar and I would have like my 2 fresh packs in my pocket. By the next morning, I I would look around and be like, oh, okay, all both of my packs are gone. It must have been a fun night, I guess. And it's one of those things of like, you know, you get like buddies that bum one here and there, but even then, with all that, you don't go through 2 packs that easily. It doesn't happen that easily. It can, but it doesn't. So doing that in one night, it's just one of those really, really, really weird things that you got to think about. All right, let me see a little bit more here. We are right here. It should have been retracted, said Brian Rideau, a professor of medicine and endowed chair in the tobacco harm reduction research at the University of Louisville. Oh, look at that. It's an American doctor, actually, or an American scholar actually speaking up about it, saying, yeah, this isn't the wrong. So, and that's like one of those things. I said it yesterday, I've spoken about this before. There is research here in the US that mirrors the research in the UK, but all that gets buried here. Nobody wants to hear it, nobody wants to see it, and it's just a really, really sad state of affairs. I'd smoke quarter to have a pack. This is fucking disgusting, man. I swear I tried everything. Only vape did it for me. Exactly. I really only did cold turkey because I really didn't want to try the gums. I didn't want to try the patches. And I didn't even know about Chantix, to be honest. And I mean, there is proof in the pudding that it doesn't really work otherwise. You know, it's one of those things. I don't know how people can smoke so much. I smoke 10 to 20 cigarettes a day. I don't think most people could even afford 5 packs a day here in the UK. Oh, I could imagine, dude. Here in the US, we go by packs, because I know in like the UK, you guys go by how many actually cigarettes you smoke. So it's 20, like here, I think it's like 20 cigarettes a pack. So put that into terms of at minimum, I was doing 2 packs a day. So that's about 40 cigarettes a day. That is some, like I said, that's some really crazy shit. Here in Texas, at least as far as I know, let me think, because I've spoken to Nick. He's talked about this quite a bit. But like at least when I quit smoking, or at least the last time I bought a pack of cigarettes, like we're talking 2012, 2013-ish. They were at like $5.50 a pack or something like that, and we're talking like Camel Reds, Camel Wides. We're not even talking like Cools or Mist, which those were like even cheaper. They were like $3 to $4, maybe 4.5. So it's one of those things where like, you know, like even with all the taxation we do have on cigarettes, it just depends from state to state. I know in California and New York, you're looking more at like $12 to $11 a pack, or at least the last time I ever heard of a fucking pricing for a cigarette. You know, that's kind of what you're getting into at that point. Let's see. The research was co-authored by Santon Glantz. Yeah, we know that name. Professor at the University of California, San Francisco, UCSF, who until recently led the Center for Tobacco Control Research and Education through the data obtained from a joint project between FDA and National Institute of Health. Glantz and the other authors, Benjamin Chafe of same school and Shannon Leah Watkins, now at the University of Iowa, try to determine if there was a link between cigarettes and e-cigarettes as e-cigarette use among teenagers who experimented with smoking. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, okay, yeah. I could see how that gets very expensive, but that is like a good deterrent to make you quit, because you start looking at that and seeing how much you're paying, because I know like in like, at least as far as I know, like in the Middle East and in China, cigarettes tend to be a lot more on the cheaper side. You could get really good cigarettes for really like $2 to $3, at least from what I've heard from any military friend I've ever made, from anybody that's ever gone like overseas and gone and bought cigarettes. They all have said the same thing, that over there it's even cheaper. You know, here in Texas we don't have heavy like taxation on cigarettes. There's just like, I think the standard sales tax and maybe a little bit like for the, what is it, the sin tax, but even then it's not like California or anything like that. Lando, your smokes were $7 a pack, and they were the cheap ones. See, and that's the thing, it goes state by state here. Every state gets to make up their own mind on how much they're charging or taxating these things, because even then, like cigarettes, for the most part, you're paying taxation, you're not paying anything else, you're actually paying mostly taxation. Yeah, I'm sorry, like that phone doesn't go off all day, and the time I decide to stream, it's going off all fucking day. Alrighty. You started smoking at 12? Oh, dude, me, I was at 13. And like about 26 is when I quit. So 13 years straight of smoking for me. Luckily I was able to like get off that horse kind of youngish, but even then, you know, there are some folks out there that have made it to a very ripe age, and they've done like some heavy damage to themselves depending on how hardcore their habit was. Luckily they found vaping and they were able to at least reduce the harm, but trying to reverse all the damage you do to yourself, it's one of those things. I mean, even like there you go, Rajan. He right there, Dubai last year, $2 a pack. That is something right there to think about, dude. But there are some people like vaping with Vic. He was talking about how he was a heavy smoker and how much he smoked and all this, and like they've looked at his lungs and stuff, and for him to repair all the damage he was doing to himself, it's gonna take a lot longer. Like for him, he really went all out, and I pretty much assume I'm like right behind him at a point or another. I didn't make it to like my 30s or my 40s or anything like that, so I was able to like tone back a lot earlier. So for me, I'm more in like that, I got out at just the right time. And even then, after my son was born, I had quit for 2 years. I was like smoke free for 2 years, which that was kind of cool. I was able to quit cold turkey. Then life events happened, and I was like, well, fuck it, let's go back to smoking, because life stresses are a bitch. Alrighty, so let me see what else. Where was I? The research looked at numbers over a course of 2 years. They wrote they found these two had tried e-cigarettes in 1 year, were twice as likely to have smoked 100 or more cigarettes year two. However, reading the research, Rideau noted something that seemed odd. Of the teens surveyed, all of them had smoked in some capacity, but those who had smoked fewer than 100 cigarettes in year one could have had anywhere from just a single puff to 99 cigarettes. And there it is. And I mean, that's like, if you guys watch That's What She Said, Grim Green, us on the Ohmies, we've shown all the data, like information that's come out. They've broken it down to where it actually shows like habitually who has tried it, who has tried it for a week, who has tried it for a month, who has done it for a year, who just keeps going at it. Once you start breaking it down from like that one overall umbrella statement of have you done it into how long, the habitual number starts getting very, very small. But they don't show that because that would prove them wrong and wouldn't give them a case to argue. All right, guys, I'm gonna like leave this article here. If you guys want to check it out, the link is on there. It's a pretty good read. I looked through it earlier today and all that kind of thing. All right, let's see. So right now I have this guy up, and this is Colorado. They're looking at taxation and what they are doing when it comes to their laws when it comes to vaping. And they're kind of going like that weird Massachusetts route where cannabis is legal, you could do that, but you can't vape. And it just makes really zero sense, but hey, that's what they're doing. Alrighty, so the summary of this law that they're trying to pass. This is a memorandum, provides an overview here. I'm gonna actually drop the link for you guys. You guys want to check this out? I'm only gonna read a little bit of it because it's again, it's all legal jargon and it's quite a bit. All right, so let me see. Here we go. This memorandum provides an overview of various Colorado laws and issues related to electronic nicotine delivery systems, including e-cigarettes. Background: electronic e-cigarettes or electronic cigarettes or e-cigarettes and other electronic nicotine delivery systems ends, such as vape pens and e-cigars, which, I'll be honest, when was the last time you ever saw an e-cigar? I know those existed. I really do. I'm not denying that they have existed. But when was the last time you've actually seen one in a shop or anything like that? All right. Vape pens, e-cigars, heat nicotine, which is then inhaled. These devices generally use battery to heat up a cartridge or refillable tank containing a liquid. This shows how outdated their information is. Cardos have moved on to the cannabis industry. I really don't know a vape company in recent memory that has released a cardo. Like, I didn't get to deal with cardos. I actually was like right after that when the C4 tank started coming out. So I didn't even have to deal with cardos, which I am completely okay with. All right. Let me see. Which then produces an aerosol that is inhaled and exhaled by the user. The liquid used in ENDS devices, often referred to as e-liquid or e-juice, contains nicotine that has been extracted from tobacco plant along with other chemicals and flavoring agents. Yeah, we call those VG and PG, but they won't tell you that, because then if people actually do their research, those have been made for certain safety reasons, and they are in inhalants that you use for rescue inhalers and other things. There's some high-end mods that look like tobacco pipes. Yeah, and I've seen those. But even then, like, a lot of them are old at this point. Like, they haven't released, unless, I mean, maybe I might be wrong with the pipes, but I haven't seen a release of one in, what year are we in? 7 years or so? Like, I think 2013, 14 was the last time I ever saw an e-pipe come out. I wanted one, not gonna lie. I always wanted one because I used to actually smoke piping tobacco at one point in my life. Made me feel fancy. Alrighty. So where was I? The liquid used in shattered tobacco plant chemicals, flavoring agents. Some of the largest manufacturers of end devices include Juul Labs, Pax Labs, which they were the same company. I don't know if they still are or not, but they used to be. Reynolds, RJ Reynolds, and British American Tobacco. In addition, there are also electronic devices that vaporize other substances, including marijuana and THC and caffeine, which I didn't know that last one. There are still companies doing very small batch of those pipes with DNA 40s or 60s in them. Oh, okay, very interesting. Did not know that was still going on, or that was even a thing still. But the vape industry is actually really big, and to try to like cover all the bases, and these just quacks don't really understand how much this actually entails. They think it's only like the big like tobacco companies that do this. They think that is it. Vaping is all big tobacco. It's not. It's mom and pop companies where some dude in either his basement or in his garage or in like a lab or a manufacturing plant that they created with either a lathe or a machine or a CNC machine or something, they hand make these products. Yes, there is like the big like stuff out of China where it's mass produced, mass manufactured, but even then, those are still very relatively small companies compared to like big tobacco companies, or even like Altria, which they are more of a investment conglomerate. And here we go. So youth ends use. youth risk behavior surveillance system. The use of ends by youth under age 18 is monitored at a national and state level. Youth risk behavior surveillance systems, or YRBSS, which BS is correct, administered by Federal Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. Monitor health-related behaviors of youth, including behaviors and contribute to the unintentional injuries and violence, sexual behaviors, tobacco and alcohol and drug use, unhealthy dietary behaviors. And see, and this is where it just like gets all confusing. It gives a bunch of information that has nothing to do with what they're talking about, because honestly, it's going on about like they're basically giving you a description of what the CDC and FDA are supposed to do. But okay, get to your damn point. This is just like a needless paragraph, honestly. Looks like they did a survey. Colorado Healthy Kids Survey is biannual survey conducted by the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, the Colorado Department of Education, and the Colorado Department of Human Services. They survey sample thousands of youths from random selection of middle and high school to understand youth trends regarding nutrition, physical, bully, mental health, tobacco, alcohol, marijuana, and school community engagement. Result from 2017 surveyed showed that 27% of high schools had vaped nicotine in the last 30 days. Yes, but how many of them still do it? Here we go. 7% of the students who reported smoking cigarettes in the same period. In addition, although 87% of high school students think that smoking one or more packs of cigarettes a day is risky, only 50% of those risks apply to daily vaping of nicotine. So even the kids understand that vaping is less harmful. There is some high-end mods. Okay, but I haven't seen cigar style. There is still some companies that doing various. Okay, we already talked about it. My question is how they categorize any vaporizer that is using anything other than nicotine as ends product. Nicotine is the term, not THC, not caffeine. Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. I'll be honest. I'm gonna stop right here. If you guys want to check out that link, see what they're doing. If you guys are in the Colorado area and you can go to the Capitol, if they're like, I know they were doing a taxation hearing not too long ago, and like they are just like going all out. They're trying to come at it from every angle and let your state representative, not your representative in the House of Representatives or Congress or anything like that, or the Senate, not them, talk to your actual representative for your area in your state, because we do have those. Let them know where you're at, what you need, and all that kind of thing. If you're in Colorado, if you're outside of Colorado, you can still look them up and see what information they have, or what information you can give their way, and let them know that this, even though you don't live in their state, this does affect people and it affects day to day and all that kind of thing. Florida yesterday passed full-on flavor ban. There's going to be plenty of businesses that are going to go out. There is going to be so many things that are going to happen within the next couple of weeks, days maybe, that the vape industry will turn on itself just because they decided to ban flavors, and that is a bad move on their part. And if you guys check out Twitter and see, I can't remember her first name, but it's something Toledo. She was the one like spearheading this whole anti-vaping thing, and the comments have let her know how everybody in Florida feels right now. I even gave her a piece of my mind, because honestly, it's very, what is your deal? Who's paying you? Who's got their hand in your pocket? All right, so I did want to hit on this a little bit. There you go. There is that, and I'm gonna let you guys listen to it and all that. I'm gonna put on my headphones because I need to be able to listen to where I need to stop. It does touch on just like what can happen here, and yeah, I'll just let you guys hear. Watch. Oh shit.
How does that impact?
Well, if there was ever a reason to quit, here's another one.
Right.
Anything that's going to compromise your lungs is going to increase your risk of being susceptible. We know that smoking decreases your ability to really fight infection. And one other interesting thing is that in China, we see more men dying from COVID-19 than women. And one of the theories is that 50% of men in China smoke, less than 2% of women smoke. So this smoking
that
have a
fact
real
stunned me,
impact.
I have to say, yeah.
Yes.
So the CDC is now actively saying avoid cruises if you're in this vulnerable population.
All right, so that little bit she talks about it here. Actually, yeah, this is the next video I need up. She hits on it very lightly. She didn't even really specify on vaping itself. She just talked about if you're a smoker, you're most likely it's a lung disease that's going on around. And yeah, but I mean, we, especially us that have been kind of going at this for a little bit, we have like the whole idea of, you know, we're less likely to fall easily to this, but it's one of those things. Like, I do think it's kind of sad that that's the headline they put on there. She didn't even talk about vaping. She talked about smoking, which just lets you know that they have no research done. They have nothing really on this, and she perused completely over the whole question. But here we have Ruthless e-liquid. They actually did a little small piece, and I'm going to play this for you guys, most likely in its full thing. And I forgot to give you guys the link here. I might look it up here real quick.
Pretty brash claims this week in regards to COVID-19 and how e-cigarette users are more likely to catch the virus than non-vapers. But why? Find out more on this edition of Ruthless Insider. Hello and welcome to another edition of Ruthless Insider. When it comes to COVID-19, there are many different perspectives floating around, but despite the strong number of skeptics, a good percentage of people are still stocking up on toilet paper and cleaning supplies as a direct reaction to the media. A working theory links the harms of coronavirus to the damage done to the lungs from smoking cigarettes. Michael Ryan, executive director of the WHO's Health Emergencies Program, said on February 14th that higher rates of cigarette smoking are, quote, an excellent hypothesis for why men seem to have been more heavily impacted by COVID-19 than women. The general rate of infection from respiratory viruses is higher among smokers, and while smoking hasn't been definitively linked to exacerbating COVID-19, for MERS, the respiratory syndrome coronavirus first identified in the Middle East in 2014, increased risk of infection has been linked to smoking by a multinational research team. While switching smokers to risk-reduced nicotine products like vapes would likely come too late to slow the current spread of COVID-19, it is plausible, though unproven, that large-scale switching would significantly mitigate against future respiratory viruses. The purported, also unproven additional risk for vapers compared with people who don't use nicotine sees harm reduction products included in such messaging. At a press conference on March 8th, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio claimed, quote, if you are a smoker or vapor, that does make you more vulnerable. If you're a smoker or a vapor, this is a good time to stop that habit and we will help you. Another statement made by John Silvernail, director of Pitt County Public Health Department in North Carolina, explained, quote, smoking or vaping doesn't make you a bad person, but it is bad for you. Furthermore, smoking and vaping irritate your respiratory system, potentially making it easier for infections to invade your body. The fast-developing situation with COVID-19 requires public health authorities to make decisions without the benefit of substantial evidence. But balanced communications are essential. The far more predictable health harms of smoking continue to contrast with the substantial relative benefits of switching to risk-reduced nicotine products, of which some, such as oral snus, have no respiratory impact. If that key message, already denied by the WHO and many others, were to be further obscured by the stop vaping calls amid the COVID-19 crisis, there's a very good likelihood that it would further exacerbate the harms of this outbreak. Why do you think it is that these state representatives have been so quick to speak out against vaping with no research to back it up? Please share your thoughts with us down below, and as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell button to keep up to date with all of our Ruthless content. This has been Nick with Ruthless Insider, and we'll see you next time.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, that actually hits a lot more on how this affects us as vapors. And you can see, I mean, they just jumped on that. They really did not care or anything like that of what information actually they're putting out there, and this is just complete and utter nonsense. Honestly, they really, they just like that whole, and we need to scaremonger, we need to like just be oblivious to it and not care about what it actually does for anybody or anything, as long as we get our point across and scare the crap out of people. And it's just a completely blanket overall bullshit thing. All right, so this next video I have, I'm gonna only play like a little bit because it is a long 15-minute video, and I'm only gonna play the beginning of it, and I will get you guys a link here if you guys want to check that out. This is actually a very interesting thing I came across on Twitter. This guy has done like a documentary style thing on the truths of vaping, or what the public must know about vaping. So here you go. I'm going to just play a little bit of it, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll see where we are at that moment. All right, so here you go.
Vaping and e-cigs. This industry is being scrutinized both for good and bad reasons. The good for helping millions of people quit smoking. The bad for the lung injuries and deaths possibly from vaping, according to public health agencies and others. Millions of vapers insist vaping saves lives. Vaping critics claim e-liquids and vapor products endanger lives. So where is the truth? Possibly with a common ground, rational approach from both the government and the vape community. Unfortunately, the government health agencies are nowhere to be found on crucial issues for this report. So if this story seems in any way to advocate for vapers, that is definitely not the intention. After months of working with both the CDC and FDA to get an on-camera interview or even a phone interview so their voice, their concerns could be heard loudly and clearly, both the CDC and FDA ran from the camera, refusing to answer tough yet fair and balanced questions. I sent both agencies combined questions in advance, dozens of emails, and had several phone conversations simply to be strung along until the final hour when each respective health organization declined to be interviewed. For the record, I do not vape, I do not smoke, and I respect the CDC and FDA and the work their scientists and researchers have done over the years to keep the public safe. However, where vaping is concerned, their silence speaks volumes. Are the CDC and FDA worried my questions are too tough, too fair? Are they concerned I allow vapers to have their voice heard? What are these agencies not telling the public? For now, the first part of our special vaping series with a live remote interview from Southern California to New York, where the organization CASA is based. And we interview others as we discuss everything from the history of vaping, harm reduction, potential dangers, public health agencies, the pre-market tobacco applications, the controversial MSA, and the We Vape, We Vote, I Vape, I Vote activism. This is Alex Clark.
All right, so we're gonna stop that right there. If you guys want to check out the rest of that video, there is a link there for you guys. Go check that out. Honestly, it was a really good video. I actually watched the whole thing. It's really good. Lots of information that we all, for the most part, know. Yes, Rajan, I completely agree. People just see a headline, look at that, and that's it. Not many people actually do a little bit more digging or like read the full article, because I mean, how many articles have we seen in the past, like, say 5 years that create a stir and create all this controversy about God knows what, and it's always about just one thing that was mentioned in the headline, but once you actually read the article itself, it contradicts the headline completely, and it just, like, I mean, me and Tuna were saying fear mongering. That's just really what it boils down to with anything, honestly. In all reality, we need to be able to, like, try to think for ourselves even slightly more. I know, like, as vapors, we do have that common mindset of this has helped me get off of cigarettes and all that kind of thing, but there are some people out there that aren't as, like, hardcore, or they aren't hobbyists, or they're not people that go to YouTube to watch, like, this show or the Wolfbite or the Ohmies or Grim Green or That's What She Said or a heavy metal show or any, or the Vape Stew or any of, like, the other panel like million panel shows that there is. They don't do that. They actually just buy their coils, buy their e-liquid, have their mod, and that's it. That's all they do. They don't know anything of what's going on in the background, and if they see a headline, it can scare them and be like, well, I guess I got to put this down then, because this isn't good for me. And then they end up either quitting cold turkey, which if they are able to, more power to them, or they end up going back to cigarettes, which that is a bad thing, and it's bad form, honestly. it just creates for a bigger issue that doesn't necessarily need to be there. It's very infuriating, and just it makes me sad for current society, honestly, in all reality. All right, so where are we on time? Alrighty, so we still got a couple of minutes here. I don't know. I'm gonna have to tweak on my main thoughts a little bit. I did want to do one today, but honestly, I just like my mindset's not really all there, and I'm still just racking my brain on that one. And I will probably have to write out some of this so I can remember exactly what I want or need to say. But with all that being said, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you guys coming on and all that kind of thing, and being in chat and interacting and all that. And my wife's making fun of my hand gestures because I make them a lot. Alrighty, so what was I gonna say? Go check out Vaping with the Ohmies on the Vaping with the Ohmies channel at Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then come back here on Wednesdays at 3:30. We are doing Wolfbite. We've been having a blast. If you guys missed yesterday's show, go check it out. We had Mitch Mitch Hoggett hang out with us and tell us about his recovery story. And honestly, it was a very, very impactful thing. And we actually had like jokes and stuff in between because hell, we got to have a good time anyways. So all that kind of situation. What else? Then if you guys are looking for any merch or anything like that, say shirts, Wolfbite related, KV related, go check out my Teespring. There is a link down below somewhere. And then if you guys want to keep this channel independent and away from all that kind of thing, it's okay, Eddie Tooney. It's okay, brother. It's all good. Just drop your links. Just please drop all the links, dude. I appreciate it, seriously. What was I saying? Yeah, if you guys want to keep this channel independent, go check out the Patreon, and any last bit is appreciated, honestly. So
life needs a new computer.
Yeah. So yeah, what else? I think I'm good. All right, thank you guys for joining me. Let's see where here we go. All right, thank you for joining me, guys, and as always, vape on, mix on. And as far as advocacy, you don't have to do everything, but at least do something, please. Seriously, it's like fucked. Do something.
You can't say guys if there's a woman.
Guys is an overall thing.
Nope.
Okay, fine.
It's sexist.